motivation.
Yeah, it's mostly to hold myself accountable, but you just don't know who's watching.
Yeah, you hold yourself accountable, but it's like just getting someone who's never done it before in any aspect is like, man, I suck at this. I'm not going to do that. I'm not like these guys. It's like, hey, he sucked too. And now look at
We
it.
were have to embrace sucking for a while before you can get good. No one just walks in perfect.
And then you'll do great, and then you're going to suck again.
Yeah.
We all suck sometimes because we're humans.
Yeah. No one's great that hasn't failed.
All right, Travis, ready for the question?
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hit on her.
Are you nervous?
No, I'm waiting for you for the question.
That dog on your shirt looks like my dog named Jersey, and she's 2.
Mm-hmm.
So say I'm calling you. You
Yep.
don't know who I am. You don't know how old my dog is, but you answer, and I want my dog in training.
Yep.
But she's 2. She's never had any training, but she's a border collie, and she's been around goats and cows and horses, and she always seems like she bites really hard. Like she'll run past a horse, and she tries to bite the nose.
Yep.
And then I'm like, ah!
Yep.
Don't do that. Anyway, so what would you tell me? Is my dog too old to start training?
No, not at all. So training is habits created by repetition. So she will have some bad habits, of course, but we'll try to break her bad habits and show her. She'll 2-year-old, 3-year-old is a great time to just. You'll get a lot out of them.
She seems a lot smarter, more aware, and wants to listen and wants to try. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a big thing
than
too.
When she was a year or 6 months.
Yeah, and that's a big thing too. Some pups are mature at 6, and some pups are maturity at 1.5 years. Some are later maturing. I've had really good luck with later maturing dogs overtaking early maturing dogs. So I would. You can always make them better. They want to please you. The everyday guy that just takes his dog and says, man, this is a pretty nice work dog. I wish I had some more buttons on him.
Yeah.
A trainer can put those more buttons.
So you can instill more buttons regardless of the age.
100%.
So an old dog's not too old to learn.
I would recommend sending, if you've got a nice range dog, he's 5. Putting him through, I think that's unfair on the dog, is putting him through a whole training. Yeah. If he's pretty nice at 5, just let it, be happy that he's nice.
Right.
A 2-year-old or 3-year-old is not that. I've got, I think, 3 or 4 3-year-olds right now.
And they're brand new into training.
Brand new. They've got to drive to work and they have bad habits. And I will put buttons on them. The only downside to them being older is they're like Band-Aids, the bad habits they have. We'll cover them up.
Yeah.
And every now and again, the Band-Aid will fall off. That's recommend lessons, so you can fix your Band-Aid yourself at home versus sending them back to me or any trainer. But I do think that lessons will help you work your dog. It's like if you send a horse to training, I think it's very important to go to that trainer 3 or 4 times and be like, hey, how you riding that? How you doing this?
Yeah.
Because you can have, you guys have all seen it, you can have the most fancy trained horse or anything like that, and you can put it in someone green, and that horse will.
They don't know how to ride.
Yeah, and they'll just slowly decline. The horse will start sharp, but slowly decline to where the levels of the rider is.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you can get a couple lessons and not be bullheaded enough to not learn more.
Yeah, we never stop learning.
That's
it's like a dog can never stop learning.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Same in reverse. So if you get a better dog, then your skills, that dog can elevate you as well.
100%, and that's the best thing. If you buy a really nice trained dog, it's going to elevate you quickly more than the guy that's trying to train from the start. You're going to be a better handler, and you're going to understand what the dog. It's like you put a kid on a really nice bridle horse.
Yeah.
That kid will know what it's supposed to feel like, and he'll look with that for the rest of his life on what that horse should do.
Yeah.
And he'll expect that and try.
Yeah.
So it is a big thing, lessons and learning, and it's just such a great thing. I think once people that have hit their ceiling of learning and think they know of everything, that's where they stay.
Yeah.
Versus the guy that he might be the rookie and he might know much, but he's always learning. If he keeps that glass half empty, he's going to continue.
It's almost ignorance.
He'll overtake the guy that was once better than look down on him. He'll overtake him, and so it's important to keep an open mind and go to a bunch of different trainers and a bunch of different people, because you've got to plug the program together that suits what you're doing. Style. Yeah, and that's the thing, is it's all different, and you got to it's got to fit you, or otherwise it's not fun.
Yeah. Is that your goal with training? So do you get pups and train them into something that you want to market, or do you take clients and train their dogs?
I'll take client dogs and they'll send them to me and want them to be trained, and I will train their dogs and they'll take them home and use them, and they're usable. I think the value is in hey, come get a couple of lessons so I can train the person. Sure. I think that's a big thing, is train the person, and once the person's trained, taught a few key things, they can get so much out of their dog. Versus train or not, you can position yourself, how to work and set your dog up for a win, and it's just reinstilling that confidence we talked about earlier to get them where they need to be, how to bring the best out in the dog. I guess, that's pretty much what I was thinking.
So if a client is local of yours and you accept to take them,
yep,
can you work with the client and the dog for 15 minutes a day?
100%. If
or does the dog have to stay with you?
No.
Okay.
No, you bring your dog, and I do lessons right now, and if you want me to train your dog, I'll keep it at my house and I'll train on it, and as much as you want. I'll work the dog, and then you'll work the dog, so you can learn as we go, and as the dog's learning. And them type of people are hard to come by, because they put themselves out there to learn.
Yeah.
And at the end of it, it is. And then at the end of it, they are so far along. That dog's band-aids or any bad habits or anything that dog has, they can work through at home without having to bring it back to training. Yeah. And I think it's way more value, because people pay quite a bit of money for me to train their dogs.
Oh, yeah.
And if they don't show up, as the lessons are
time is money.
The lessons are considerably cheaper. Yeah. And if you learn with your dog,
then you're more of a team.
100%. And you know how to fix any problems. And if someone comes and pays me for lessons, they do the lesson with their dog, and I've got 20 other dogs or 18 dogs to work. They can stay the whole time and watch that. That's part of the lesson, and they can watch.
That's really giving of you.
Well, I enjoy it. It's a thing I like to do, and my main goal is to help the dog out, and the only way I can do that is by teaching the person. So that's what I try to do.
It really brings up your confidence too when you watch your pride and joy be worked by someone who knows what they're doing, and they're doing really cool things, and it brings up your confidence too, I can do this, I know what I'm doing, you're doing exactly what I'm doing, and you're reinforcing people to keep doing the right things. And just in this small community that we live in, you're really elevating everyone and growing the community and building everyone's confidence, and it's really cool.
100%. And that's a big thing too, is when people come out, they're like, look what does he want me to say, or how should I do this? I don't want to fail. And the best lessons are learned through failure. The more mistakes, the better. That's why I'm here.
That's where we grow the most.
I want you to make the most mistakes, or I want the dog to make the most mistakes in its training, so we can correct that and teach that animal and person how to not make that mistake in the future. And it's not I don't judge how anyone does when they're working the dog. It's shoot, that was actually pretty good, and I might learn something from you. Right. So I try to promote that. Mistakes are the best. I'm happy when a dog makes a mistake. I'm never mad when a dog isn't taking his training or isn't doing something how I taught him to, because thank you, that's something we need to work on.
Keep trying.
It's not I used to get super mad. It's we've practiced this 10 times, you're doing so good.
You betrayed me.
And then you fell off. Exactly. And I used to take it
patience.
You
teach yourself.
And it took me, I took it personal. Where I'd be
I think that's maturity. You're growing in
Absolutely.
your own training.
And it is. And I'm still making mistakes to this day, and anyone that tells you they're not is a liar. So
absolutely,
there is there's no right answer. And I mean, if I was to open a dog book and I had to pick where I was, I'd probably be a chapter or two in a 500 chapter book. So, and that's where everyone should start. Like, start reading the cover and progress, and that's the greatest thing about it. With anything, with any sport or any sport, it's like you're not going to be good at it at the start, and you can only go as far as you can go. But why not be the best you can?
Right.
Yeah. Write in your own book.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like those
cliche.
Yeah,
it's true.
I feel like those things that like keep you hooked, like throughout your life, like everybody who gets into horses or dogs or anything like that, it's because every time you think you know something, you get knocked back down.
Oh,
right?
100%,
Like you never can peak, right? Like
Had the best year last year,
and
that's why,
hit rock bottom again.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's what keeps us hooked, though, because otherwise we'd get bored, right?
Oh yeah, if it was easy.
I should have been doing this a year ago.
Yeah,
I learned this
and that's the biggest thing. Someone will show you something with a horse or dog or whatever. You're like, I'm such an idiot. Why couldn't I? It's so simple. Why couldn't I think of that?
Yeah.
But that's the fun of it. It's,
the little instruction was huge.
Yeah.
And changed it.
And everyone has such a good. Everyone's good at something.
Yeah.
And, whether you guys were talking training a dog, there'd be something from you guys that I could learn. Like you could get one to lay down, or you could get one to trust you more than I could, or something. And you'd be green at it, and there'd be someone that you could take, a novice person that you can take something from, be like, man, you've done that exceptional.
Yeah.
And you could learn that from them.
Yeah.
And maybe I know more in a difference of the overall, but that could be so. It's cool that there's training animals. You've always got one thing on someone else. Like, you're good at it.
Yeah.
Whether you dress better, better gear, or you clean your gear, or you've just got, there's something you always have that is better than, and I love that. I really like that.
Yeah.
I do too.
It made me think, like, I just keep thinking, like, I need to clean my tack because I might be slow this weekend. I'm running Chris's rope horse. My good horse is out. I got to run a rope horse. But my saddle, my pride, and my equipment is going to be really
looking good.
Yeah, I'm going to show up and look like I care because I do, and I have pride in my stuff. And we're going to be in the 7D, but we're going.
We're going to look good doing it. Okay.
That'll be perfect. And that's the best thing. Is like, I may have done this and it wasn't even great, but I look good.
Yeah, get my advantage where I can.
My tack is cleaner than everyone else's. So.
I brushed my dog.
Exactly.
Can't sit, but I brushed it.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you have equipment for your working dogs or show trial dogs?
No, they're still like just working dogs. Like, I use them, the ones that I have, I'll use on the ranch, and it's muddy and dirty and gross and poop and crap. But I put like shavings in my pens, and nice. I try to make them
comfortable.
Yeah, and I try to be more professional about it. But come to the grooming and stuff, like my long hairy dogs, I'll kind of wash off a little bit, try to make it a little
less range, give them a little blowout.
But my biggest thing is when they
this is R-rated again.
Someone's going to do it in this podcast. So I think it is a presentation is a big thing, but I try. It does, and I like going there. My dog's looking healthy, good feed, and they're muscly, in shape. I won't take a thin one or a lame one.
Yeah.
Even though you could do the job and get the job done. Yeah. I'm not going to turn up with that.
Right, and it could be like something like they're not hurting or injured, but they might have like a limp because they had something happen to them, and that's like us. We're little.
I got a limp, bruised and battered. I still get around.
But about presentation and perception and keeping, like the animal ethics and all of that. So, it's PR.
Yeah, I just go because I want people to think that I give a shit.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I mightn't do good, but
well, you do give a shit.
Dog, yeah, I want that dog goes there and it looks sharp, and he might be a little dusty or a little bit of cow poop on him here and there.
Yeah.
But I'll try to scratch that off if I can. I want them to look at their best, but when I turn up, I want them to hop out of the crate that I have them in. It's got shavings in. They don't smell like disgusting. Like someone touches them, they're not like.
Yeah. So pride in your work. For sure.
There's some professionals.
That's good for the clientele too. You care and you're going to take care of their animals because.
Yeah, it's hard for people to leave their dog.
They're their employees, but I mean, wait till you meet Susie.
Yeah. And I think that's a big thing too. Is a lot of people think like there's a lot of cowboy guys that are like, don't touch my dog. Don't talk to him because he's mine.
And don't even look at him.
Yep. And
don't give him the side eye.
Yeah, and he's just a tool. And I keep him he's in the kennel or chained up. And he's just a tool when I go to work. And I disagree with that a lot because most of them guys, if you work a dog 5 or 10% of its whole life, that's a lot of work. That's a lot of hours.
Yeah.
Yes. So that leaves 90 or 95%. You better be a good dog. And if I want someone that buys a dog from me, it's like, hey, you want to bring him inside the house? He ain't going to be toilet broke because I just don't do that. Yeah. But he'll behave.
Does toilet broke mean he would go on to the bathroom on the toilet?
Yes, pretty close. If I can get that down, I'm going to be the winner.
He's a great trainer.
Yes. I'm excellent. No. But I'm going to...
Good around the kids, good around other people, good.
Yeah. I'm selling you this dog, but it will bite your children and your aunt and your neighbor down the road.
And there's some dogs that will, but primarily I want you to be able to drive to your friend's house, the dog in the back of the truck. You get out of the truck and you go inside or walk over and look at cows. That dog just stays in the back of the truck because that's the one that gets to go. That's back to the puppy thing. If you pick the one you like, he gets to go. Yes. So I like, you take them everywhere with you. They've got to be a team member. And if once you educate them how to be polite and act as a team member, you don't have to mind. You can go anywhere you want and you don't have to worry about your dog.
Yeah.
What qualifies a judge? How do you become a judge?
In the cattle dog, you have to. Anyone can judge it.
Oh yeah.
It's a pretty simple set of rules. Each obstacle the cows go through, you might get 10 points a cow, and there's a point line and a daylight line. So once they cross the point line, you get your points, and the guy goes 10, 20, 30, and then that's move on. So you just count points and the time stops. Sheep trial people, they're a little more strict, which I like. I like how they judge it. There's a lot of stockmanship in sheep, and I think in the cattle dog world they could bring that in a little bit. It comes with a whole set of politics. It's like a rodeo. Yeah. You get judged on if they don't know you get judged a little less. And if
they like you or they don't.
Yeah, exactly. So that's more human description. So discrepancy. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
But if you can, so the sheepdog one is like how your dog approaches the stock and how it stays out of the bubble and then introduces it to the livestock and then how straight they come to you and how straight they can drive them and how many times you take to say down and it listens or how many whistles it takes to go left and right. I like that in that it shows a lot more control and also your dog has to be respectful to the livestock and what I would believe is when a dog is working cows or any sort of livestock, there has to be that mutual respect like we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
It's like if you don't have to bite them and you can still move them, that is wonderful. I love that because that's what I want. I don't want my stock bit.
Yeah.
And I want you to move everything calmly. At the trials, the downfall of it is it's a speed. It's like it's go.
Yeah, you're on a timeline, right? Yeah.
The fastest time wins. So you will make cattle try it and bounce off a panel here and there. But on the ranch, that's unacceptable.
Yeah.
If my cows walk on the ranch and I don't have to ever get out of a trot,
right,
and it takes me 20 minutes long to get there, I'm super happy because when my cows get to the corral, I can work them and they're
They're not tired.
They're not tired, not stressed.
Yeah.
There's so many benefits to it. And I think that's a real benefit of the dog. But in the trial world, they've got to trot them along. And it's to show you controlling your dog, which is great and it's wonderful. But I don't think that's necessarily how you should work cows, because a guy that can go out and walk his cows everywhere completely calm and he won't win.
Yeah.
But his dog worked great. And that's what I care about. Like, I'm happy to go to a dog trial and lose. If my dog, I'll lose, I'll come dead last.
Yeah.
As long as my dog handles and works a stock.
Experience.
Yeah, it's good. And I've got dogs that I can speed up because I'm a competitor. I like to compete. So I'll hustle them a little bit.
Yeah.
But it goes against my grain of
stockmanship, right?
Stockmanship. Yeah. And that's like the dog trials. There are stockmen there that can read cattle, draw cattle, and they're great. And if they didn't have a time crunch like that, and a lot of them could get their cows through calmly and correctly. Like them guys have a read on
finesse,
But the competition part of it is like, hey, we got to hustle this up.
Yeah.
And
slow is fast too.
it is. It really is. And then it really is. And there's a couple guys that. There's a great guy named Brian Jacobs, and he is probably one of the top trials in the nation. He can move any cows slowly through any obstacles. He can do it. But he also reads cattle that, well, this cow can handle a bite to speed things up, and he will ask his dog to bite. And it probably goes against his grain too, but he can speed that run up if he needs to.
Yeah.
And it is. So that's where I think they lose the stockmanship a little bit. Like I don't think, and that's the same. I like things slow and calm, but it's a fun trial. It's like a team roping.
Yeah.
It's like a go, and
because you probably don't want to go roping and jerking calves around in anywhere but at a team roping, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Or a team branding. It's like there's not very little stockmanship there, but every cow, I'll probably get killed in this area for saying that, but at a branding, there is zero stockmanship.
Yeah, we'd be furious, right?
Like, If someone's it'd be horrible. But them cowboys out in the brush are probably pretty stockmanship orientated. But come to town, they're not.
Whole new ball game.
Yeah, because now we got a time because we're showing. That's how we have to, like, how cool we are. Show that we could do it. Yes, we could do this quickly.
But when they go home, that's not.
Well, that's the same with barrel horses. Absolutely. Like you guys, like. You could lope a perfect pattern, lead changes, a collected horse, really nice stock, everything.
It's not going to win.
Speed is the name of the game.
You will go hungry in a paycheck window. So
that's why the D.
5. 7.
So no, it is fun. So
So maybe we could talk a little bit about. So you've just been traveling all over lately, right? I saw that you were in Denver. I know you were at Winnemucca this last weekend, right? And you mentioned Arizona also.
Yep.
So what is involved? The prep, getting ready to go to these different shows. Where are you staying? Do you just get a hotel room? How do you keep your dogs while you're there?
How do you leave us with a good story?
How do you win around in Denver?
So I guess we could start. So prep for a dog trial, I like to. So all my dogs that I'm using on the ranch, like my dog, every dog that I have goes to work. So. The dogs that I want to get ready for a trial, I bring them in about a week early. Get the dogs, and I don't take them out and use them for a job. I need to mechanical them up. They can't think for themselves. So I do that for a week. I tune them up a little bit. And then I, get your dog food and everything you need to set up for that. And it's pretty easy. Just throw them in the crate. I have a dog trailer and a kennel in the back of my truck. I just load them and then just drive down to wherever you're going. And the seasoned dogs, everyone knows that has horses, the seasoned ones move right along. The pups and young dogs are a little bit more wound up, a little more excitable and new world. So that's kind of how I prep. It's a week before I'll tune up on all their basic maneuvers.
Do you take the pups with you? Like when you're going to some of the bigger shows with your more mature dogs, do you take the pups with you just so that they get used to traveling and
like kind of season them, right?
Season them basically. Like don't enter them, but take them with you.
Definitely.
Sack them out.
Yep, definitely. Just like a horse. Take them, get them out throughout the trial, walk them around, and they're not even work, and then just You're just getting around people, around the music.
Some other dogs.
Yeah, and lots of different things, and put them up, and that's a big thing. And then I'll move them to. So them dogs won't get work. Yeah, that's a great question. Yeah, no, I think seizing them and taking them places is a huge thing.
Yeah,
socializing. Huge thing. And in Arizona, we went down to Arizona. I showed 2 dogs, and in Arizona, the National Livestock Show, and I have one that's actually a local guy's named Pete Paris.
We love Pete.
Yeah, Pete.
Yes.
Pete is a legend, and he's a hell of a cow man, sheep man.
Yes.
He's a strict workman. Like, he's a hell of a rancher. And I took his dog down there, and she has a lot of desire and bite. She's a phenomenal dog. She's just not ready for that level yet. Mm-hmm. But when she hits that level, she'll be a dog that's in the age. She's a great one. Like, she is a rock star. So I showed her first, and it did not go well because the cattle, and that's the biggest thing. Everyone has wrecks.
Were they TS cattle?
No, they were a little worse actually. But that's the biggest thing is everyone has wrecks. Like, there's horror stories. Like, nothing goes smooth all the time. And so I went down. I showed her, and the cattle were desert cattle, a little wild. And a little bit, I didn't want to fight a dog, and Pete's dog is a savage.
She's a killer.
She's down. She's a killer.
Yeah.
And if you don't want, if you down to fight, she's right there with you. She
Got a girl.
Yeah.
So, which was really good because it was them cows put a fight on every dog. And
She's like, I won't take it.
That's so fun to watch.
Yeah, it is, and it wasn't we didn't do good, but those cows were better off with her being independent. She educated.
Doing a favor to everyone else.
Yeah, and because she's so green, like, there was things that she didn't do completely correct, but she educated the cattle on a ranch. That dog's phenomenal. She's unbelievable. She's a great dog. Yeah. In the precision thing, she's just still learning the ropes of when to know how much is enough because she's a lot.
Yeah.
So she's a good dog, and then I took my other dog, my main dog, and.
What's her name?
Slim.
Is she?
Slim, yeah.
Slim.
Yeah, Slim, yeah. So a lot of my dogs are named after, like, a guy named Slim Dusty. He's an old country music singer in Australia. Oh. So I have any dog that I personally breed.
I remember that, Sadie, as a theme song.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I put her in. So a lot of them are named after that, after his songs or something to do with him. And luckily enough, she turned out. I got her when she was 8 weeks. So she turned out to be a great female.
Is he still performing?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
She's the 4-year-old. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, she's phenomenal. And Slim Dusty, the singer.
Both.
No, he's dead.
He did.
He did.
He's gone.
Yeah. He was like our.
Rest in peace.
He was like our. He's like George Strait in Australia.
Oh, he is?
Yeah.
That good?
Yeah, he's good.
Wow. How long ago did he die?
Oh, I hit him 10 years ago.
He did.
He did.
What was this astrology sign? He did, Michelle. He did.
Yeah. So, but like my grandparents and my dad would listen to him a lot. So, and I grew up with him. So he was great.
Yeah. So how'd Slim do?
Slim won both days. She was phenomenal because she.
What did they get when they win?
So we've won it before. One that I think it was a year before that. Me and her won it, and you get a buckle and a banner. And
are you wearing a buckle?
Oh yeah, yep. That's the one she won. Yeah, that's the one she won.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, she's
cool.
She's a winner. So
they should get a collar with a buckle on it, like a little. That's a good idea.
She'd hate me for it.
Yeah, she'd like, no.
Yeah,
she's not fancy. Yeah. It's too bougie.
Yeah, she's not. She's a basic bitch.
Yeah.
So yeah, she's done really well for me, and so she went there, and then we went to Denver after that.
Okay.
Where we're getting into now, and so in Denver I took Pete's dog, which is Chicky, that's her name.
Okay.
And Chicky's a little overzealous, and funniest thing in Denver is they lead a lot of show cows past where you're working dogs.
Oh.
So they're leading, they're still showing cows. And it's on the parking lot, really, with some shavings down. That's all the arena is.
Yeah.
So Chicky hasn't been many places, so I'm walking to where I'm about to let her in, and someone walks past with like a Hereford or something.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah.
She's like, you want this one too?
Yeah, she really did.
It's coming. Yeah.
That's some idiot's holding on to the end of it, but I'll bring him too. Yeah, so Chicky's got a lot of personality.
Yeah. Did it make your heart beat a little bit?
Oh, a lot, yeah.
Like sweat.
Somebody else's fancy dog.
Yeah, she was going to come uncaught. And I don't use leashes, so they're on their own. It's a mental state for them to stay with me, and you really hope it's in
you
the
almost
right...
fish you out of leash.
Yeah.
I'm really trusting you here.
Yes, I do. And so there was a couple times that I was very worried that she was going to grab someone's 4-H.
Yeah. There's a kid attached to this.
Yeah, I'll bring it. Yeah, she's a beast.
That's going to bring someone's 4-H.
Yeah. So she went in and she was a crowd favourite.
Yeah.
Because she's such a sweet dog. She'll screw me and bite when she doesn't need to. And I'll be like, dang it, Chicky. And she'll stop and lay down and be like, oh, I thought that was cool.
Sorry, boss.
Yeah.
So, you didn't see that trick?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people there that are new to Western way of life, I guess. So when they see a calf getting bit, it's like, oh my God. So Chicky
all PETA.
Yeah. So Chicky educated them on that.
Yeah.
And so Chicky's like my you take her and people are like, what an idiot. And then I bring the big guns in, Slim is, and we got second the first day and first the next day. So she
Oh, you did great in Denver too then.
Yeah.
Congratulations. That's so cool.
Slim pulls me out of the shit a lot.
Yeah. I'm like, no, I kind of know what I'm doing here.
Yeah.
Like,
Way to represent.
Yeah. Slim backs it up a little bit. But, so
Chicky's just living the rock star lifestyle. Just going ham, wrecking the hotel rooms.
Yeah.
She does. She really does. And that's the best part about the dogs is I know that Chicky might not be listening to doing the correct things now, but in 6 months she'll be just the same as Slim.
Yeah.
So
she has full potential.
Oh yeah.
To get there and do it.
Yeah. She was. She's on her way. So
I love it.
That's why I like taking her.
So then does she go back to Pete?
Yeah.
After she's done with training, 6 more months or?
No. I told Pete that 'cause she's a special dog, so I'd like to send her back and get her trained. I'd like him to use her because he's got a lot of work. He's doing a lot of stuff.
He could definitely use her.
Yep, and I'd like him to use her, and then coming into these bigger trials, like the national finals is coming up, I would grab her and take her for a week, and then take her to the national finals. So,
okay.
So it's not that much. Like, I mean, it is, but a week is a good amount of training to get back to you've been working. Now we're gonna go do pretty things and on command.
Yep. And that's the biggest thing about the foundation. Once you get a good foundation on the dogs, you can pull them back into line pretty quick. And they're not going to be perfect on the ranch, no matter how good they're trained. They're smart. They're always looking for the easier way, which is still often very helpful. But you can't expect one to do a big, wide outrun, which is where you send them from you and they go, a mile, but they do it in a half circle. Once they get smart, they'll pretty much beeline it and bump around the cattle where they need to be.
Yeah.
But once you got a good foundation on them, which she has, you can jump back to being good. You can tune them up very fast.
Yeah. I remember at the clinic, or not the clinic, but the show that you guys put on, there was the youth class. So people were taking their parents' dogs, and then you had these little bitty kids bossing these dogs around.
I love that.
And so just thinking about that, they are pretty
awakening
flexible.
That passion when they're little, though.
Yeah, so but those dogs, I could see where Pete could take it home, and you take it for a week, and they're back to work, right?
Yeah. And this dog loves Pete.
Yeah.
He had it for the first year of his life.
Yeah.
And she remembers him. She acts like a little puppy when he comes. As soon as he hears her voice, as soon as she hears his voice, she whines and she loves him.
Yeah.
BFF.
And she sticks with me because I've been working her.
Yeah.
But she loves Pete.
Yeah.
And
she's like, which way do I
Just
go?
Google which way from across.
Yeah.
she's really bonded with Pete.
Yeah.
That's so sweet.
Yeah, it is. It's really cool to see. But the little kids will work their dogs and stuff like that. And actually, my nephew and niece did really well there with a dog that I gave Chad. Actually.
Oh, okay.
I gave him a dog because he has a lot of stuff he needs to get done with road bins and stuff. And it's a really nice dog. And those kids would, and I had minimal training and I had a very few basic things with it.
Yeah.
And those kids won. My nephew won the first day. My niece won the next day.
Oh, good for them.
Yeah.
That's so neat.
But they created a bond with the dog.
Yeah.
And they could get it done where I couldn't work her. And I trained her to where she was. But she wouldn't. She'd listen to them kids better than she would me.
Oh.
So there is a.
You're old and grumpy.
Yeah. That's pretty much what she said.
Yeah.
But yeah, there is a. The dog's put into who owns them. They really do remember. And because in my house, it's a military camp.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like, we're doing this, we're doing that. This is how we're doing it, and it's correct. And we're going to bounce through this together. And when they get home, they're like, man, you guys are. Yeah. That guy is an asshole.
Yeah.
We get treats after we.
Yeah. Exactly. So they start getting with their. They know who's their friend and who's just.
The boss.
Micromanaging me.
Yeah.
I know I've got to be somewhat micromanaging to them to get them
Yeah.
I got to so they understand, but once they get home, they're like, oh, I can breathe and turn into a dog again.
A little bit of their own personality and
Yeah.
individualism.
Oh boy. So when people like bring a dog to your program, so if they came to you, like Michelle was talking about her dog who's older, or if it was a weird breed or something, would you accept them in your program? Would you kind of vet them a little bit, like whether they're going to fit, or would you just take it and be like, I'm going to get it to the best that I can for that type of dog? Like, how do you kind of roll with that?
So anyone that sends me a dog, because I know what they want, they want it to be a stock dog, and I do all different kinds of obedience and all that sort of thing, but so it varies of what they want.
Yeah.
But in a stock dog world, I give them 2 weeks. I'll take whatever dog you want.
Yeah.
If you think
So you take a Saint Bernard.
whatever you want.
Yeah.
And I'll give them 2 weeks. And it depends. Like, I'm not going to lie to anyone. It's like, hey, if you're sending a dog for Saint Bernard to be a stock dog, we're lowering
too
the
much.
Yeah. Maybe I can get it a direction, but that's about it.
Yeah, exactly. And I can only do so much, but I'll take anyone's dog for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And I will work them every day. And after 2 weeks, I will say, hey, this dog is going to make it, or this dog is just, he's not that into it.
Yeah.
And that gives the people the opportunity, because I can do a lot of things to make them really nice to be around, but I can't say this dog's going to be a work dog or not. Mm-hmm. So if you want a work dog and you send him for 2 weeks, I say, hey, he's not a work dog. I've had people say, yes, that's great. I'll take him back. Or they're like, can you just see how far you can go with it? And I'm happy to do that.
Yeah.
And I'll make the best I can out of the dog.
Yeah.
But a lot of people that send them, they want a work dog at the end of it. So I've got to be honest with them.
Yeah.
And just say, because it's paying me some money to do it, so I'm not going to.
They appreciate your honesty over I'll make your dog
I would
into
think
this.
so, right? Yeah.
But the dogs are
I would want that.
Yeah, it's the dogs.
For sure.
The dogs don't lie. They're the most honest animal around. They will not lie to you. If you haven't worked them enough, they'll screw up. And if you have worked them enough, they're going to do good. And if they have got it, they're going to do good. And if they have, you can't. The dogs don't lie. So you've got to be pretty honest with people. So because they're not lying. And so that's what I try to do. Is just like, hey, he's got it or he hasn't.
Yeah.
We can continue with what he can do, or you can find another one that you want more. And so I take them all for 2 weeks.
Yeah. And so then you just have that conversation. So you're on the same page with the owner. And
Yeah.
the same goal, essentially, by the end.
Yep, exactly. And I just don't want, because at the end of this deal, I want you guys, whoever owns them, I'm just trying to benefit the dog.
Yeah.
And if I can make him a helping, useful, good partner, that dog will have 8 years of just great work. I mean, he'll get to go places, he'll get spoiled because he's so good, and that's what I want. I want that animal to have a great to bring the best out of them so that person enjoys them.
Nice.
I like that.
Yeah. Well,
mine just keeps wandering.
Yeah.
I know the questions are endless.
Oh my gosh.
A few.
Okay, I did have one more question.
Yeah.
Just popped back in my head. Okay.
Hit it.
So we were talking about like what you win when you go to the stock dog, these trials.
Yeah.
And so we've talked about buckles and you get things like that. Is it kind of like a jackpot setup too? Is there a purse involved as well?
There is.
So yeah, because that's kind of like girl math for our barrel racing. Yep. Maybe we get a little bit of a crumb, you know,
Yep.
but it makes it feel like, oh yeah, I'm making money.
We gotta go to the next.
Yeah, I can keep going down the road because I made a little money back, you
Yeah.
know? So is it kind of the same type thing?
Yeah, so you pay your entry fee and you'll get a percentage back if you win it. And some trial, there's no standard to it. It's depending on the person that puts on the trial,
Yeah.
what they pay back. So it'll bounce back and forth of how much. But there's a big one coming up actually next week that I'll go to that's a $30,000 one.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
30,000
Yeah.
for first place.
So
Just
I think
added
it's
money?
Yeah, it's added money.
Wow.
So,
Yeah.
but I think they win about 10 or 15 if they win it.
And you're going next week?
Where's
Yeah,
that?
it's in Logan, Utah.
Oh yeah.
And it's a pretty good one. It's a great one. The guy that puts it on has just done a phenomenal. Him and his wife actually have done a phenomenal job putting it together. And it's like a shootout, like a tournament style. So in the regular world, there'll be 30 people in your class, and you will fastest time and most points win. Mm-hmm. And this one, it is you go head to head with another dog. If you beat him,
Boy, eliminator.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Like
And
a
it's
bracket?
it's a bracket.
How does the bracket work? How do you get? Is it random draw? Or?
Yeah, it's a random draw,
Okay.
and it's open from novice clear to open, so that you're competing against the best in the nation.
Yeah.
And it is really, really fun. And you can cheer on your friends, and you only have to
Yeah.
beat one dog to move to the next round. And
Oh, okay.
it's a great idea. I love it. So,
Yeah.
That sounds so fun.
Yeah, it sounds
Yeah.
super fun.
Yeah,
And then,
it is. It's great.
so would you get a payout if you win your bracket, or is it only when you get to the end?
No, if you win your bracket, you get a little bit.
Yeah.
And then if you are a novice guy and you make it further than any other novice guy in that class, I think you get a couple thousand for that.
Oh, okay. Kind of like the American is, right?
Yes.
Like, yeah.
Yep. So you get it makes it fair for everyone to where like a novice guy can enter and he can make it further and make a good chunk of change, and he might make it clear to the top.
Great motivation.
Yeah, I think an intermediate
good.
guy won it last year.
Wow.
I think. Don't quote me on that, but it's a
The underdogs do win sometimes.
sometimes. Yeah. So I've never won it. So
Maybe this is
We're
your
crossing
year.
our toes and fingers.
There's a chance.
We all are.
yeah, I gotta get Slim involved.
Yeah.
No, it's it's pretty fun. So it opens it up a lot. So no,
Yeah.
it's pretty good. But no, the stories on I don't really have any wild dogs.
I kind of like
We'll get
Tippy
one from-
moving the 4-H kids to
I did too. That was great.
Yeah, Chicky.
Chicky. Sorry, not Chicky.
She's a people educator.
Yeah. That's my favorite so far. I like the idea.
Yeah, she's like Pete. She doesn't care what other people think.
Yeah.
She's
I'm
gonna
like,
do-
we're taking all these cows.
Doing it or not doing it. Watch out.
Yeah, that's it. She's a true Nevadian dog.
Yeah.
So we're getting the job
We're a
done.
little
Proud.
rangy, but
Yeah.
get the job done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody's favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yes. So.
Well, Travis, you have to do us all a favor and go home and tell Chelsea thank you for your time
Yeah, I
and your
will.
babies. Thank you for your
Yeah.
time because we know we took up your whole evening.
That's
We're
great.
so
Yeah.
happy you came.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Yes,
I
thank
learned
you for
so
coming.
much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to keep going.
Yeah.
It is a lot of fun. So no, and like I was telling you guys earlier. Plug.
Talking to that closer.
Yeah. I actually started a podcast as well, so I know
Yes.
it's kind of crazy, and I hope we can collaborate.
We want to hear it. Let's collaborate.
It's
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Stockdogs Unleashed. So
Stockdogs Unleashed, you
Yeah.
guys. So
Check it out.
yeah,
And
if you want to
then
hear more from Travis.
yeah, and then if anyone wants to get in contact with me versus puppies lessons or anything like that, I don't want to. I'll point you. If I don't know, I'll point you in the direction. And if you've got a dog you need trained, if I don't have room, I've got to know a lot of guys that will help, or questions or lessons or anything like that. Just
Yeah.
feel free to contact me.
How do we get a hold of you? What are your socials?
Just TC Stockdogs.
TC Stockdogs.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then I'm happy to just talk dogs too. And talk over the phone, and we'll visit and stuff like that. And just message me on what's TC Stockdogs, and you'll find it.
We really appreciate your time.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
no, it's been a lot of fun, and hope to do it again.